Hi everyone, this is Whiskey Unveiled, and today we are doing a deep dive into the USA and Canada. Starting off with the USA, and there's two whiskeys you need to know about called Bourbon and Rye. With Bourbon, it's made from 51% corn, and it's aged in new charred oak barrels. What this does is it gives a sweeter profile to the whiskey. I think it is the sweetest form of whiskey you'll come across. You can think of notes such as vanilla, caramel, and also some of those woodsier oak notes. Then there's Rye Whiskey, made from 51% rye grain, and this one has a spicy kick to it. Think baking spices such as cinnamon and nutmeg, and definitely more on the drier side of whiskey. And now we're talking about whiskey regions in the USA, and we have to talk about Kentucky. Kentucky is the home of bourbon, and it's where you'll find most of the whiskey distilleries in the USA. But there are other places in the US that do amazing whiskey. So Texas is really a big and up-and-comer in the whiskey scene. Then there's Tennessee whiskey, similar to Jack Daniels. They're known for their charcoal mellowing method, so the whiskey is a little easier to drink. Then there's places like Colorado doing American single malt. There's lots of new versatility coming onto the whiskey scene all across the US. Moving on to Canada. And Canada is known for its smoother and more mellower type of whiskeys compared to its American counterparts. Canadian whiskeys are usually made up of a blend of grains: corn, rye, wheat, and barley. And this combination of these grains together usually is what gives it its more mellower taste. I would still say that rye is the dominant grain, and most Canadian whiskeys are still even referred to as rye whiskeys, even if rye isn't the dominant grain in the blend. This just happens to go back in time when rye was the dominant grain, but we still call it rye whiskey today. And while Canadian whiskeys are still known for its mellower and smoother type whiskeys, there are many new Canadian whiskeys coming onto the market, especially like this Alberta premium whiskey that will give any American rye a run for its money. So that was a closer look into the US and Canadian whiskey regions. They offer both rich and complex whiskeys. I think you don't really get these types of flavors in whiskeys in any other part of the world, and I think that is what really makes them special. But until next time, this is Whiskey Unveiled. Cheers.